Hello, good morning, everyone. We are going to be talking super quiet this morning because I'm staying with a friend right now and I don't want to wake her up. And my voice is a little bit scratchy, so sorry, it's going to be quiet, but just turn your volume up and you'll be totally fine. Okay, this morning I was in an Uber yesterday and it was the funniest drive. He was one of the funniest drivers I've had. And just the way that he thought about things and what we were talking about. And I wanted to share it because it was really actually quite insightful with a little bit of humor. And that's one of my favorite things. So, what we were talking about, I can't remember how it came up, but he was sharing with me that one of the things he was teaching his son, who's 12, he's like very intentional about teaching him about the world and like how to interact with people and societal norms and like all sorts of stuff. So he's telling me, he's like, so we were driving the other day and this other driver wouldn't let me merge in, like he just wouldn't let me over. So he said that other driver drove on ahead and he eventually was able to merge over after that driver. And then he said when he was driving, the other driver had like slowed down and waited and gave him the finger. Like, what in the world? Just spiteful. And so the guy said, it was such a great opportunity to teach my son about the finger and about how people just, you know, have their responses and their reactions and how they expect you to have responses and reactions to their responses and reactions. Right? And so it was so fascinating. So he's talking and he's going, so what I did is I was telling them, good morning, Becky. I see you on there. Hi. He said, so I just took the opportunity to teach my son about the finger. So it felt like a good time. So he goes, son, have you ever seen someone give the finger? Or has anyone ever given you the finger? And his son's like, yeah. And so he goes, so what did that, like, how did you feel about that? And his son, kind of the typical reaction, well, I didn't like it and it made me feel upset and like I didn't like it. And his dad's like, okay, cool. So let's talk through that because it's just someone's finger. Like it's just attached to their hand. It doesn't have to mean what we decide that it means. And we don't have to get upset. Like he goes, maybe they were just showing you their manicure. Like maybe they got their nails done and they looked really nice and they just wanted to show you one of them. So you could choose to just compliment them instead. Like you could choose to just acknowledge that it's literally someone's finger. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. And just the way that he said it, he was really funny. And the way that he said it was so just matter of fact. Like it's just someone's finger and we make it into this whole offensive like they gave me the finger. And it's the same thing with like a thumbs up. Like we decide that it's a great thing. Also someone's finger. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to brush my hair this morning and it's like all over the place. But we decide, or if someone's like shaking their finger at you, like we decide based on their body language and the context, we decide that that's like an aggressive, like, oh, I should probably be ashamed right now because they're shaking their finger at me thing. And while it's helpful, of course, to have some basic communication things that we can just all know when someone gives you a thumbs up, it's a good thing. You can also choose to not be offended by it. Like you can choose to just say, okay, thanks for showing me one of your fingers. Like, well, okay. And keep driving and not engage. And I mean, I think it's especially helpful on the road to not engage because then it's road ragey and then that just endangers people and that's no good. So really, it's just someone's finger. Let it go. If someone yells and screams at you, it's just their voice in a different tone. Like you can choose to make it so simple. It doesn't make their behavior right. It's not justifying their actions. It's a simple switch in your own mind of how you choose to see it. So I don't have a phone stand and my arm is getting shaky. I had a good workout yesterday. It's just a matter of how you choose to see it. So you can let it not bother you. Like you can make that choice. You can just say, oh, okay, thanks for, doing a little wave. It's just one finger instead of five. They just did a 20% wave. How cute of them. And you can choose to not let it bug you. So that's what he shared yesterday during our ride, and I thought it was so funny. And then so yesterday was Wednesday. On Tuesday, I had one of my friends, the friend that I'm actually staying with right now. She was sharing, and she speaks on a lot of stages, and she's very confident with it, and she's very comfortable with it, and she's very good at it. And she said it's so funny, people, oftentimes that's not a comfortable thing for people, right? Public speaking is like a huge fear of people. And she said so matter-of-factly, speaking is just talking. Like, it's just talking. And we make it into this whole huge thing because you may or may not be raised up on a little 3-foot platform and talking to more than one person at a time. But it's really just talking. So what if we went through life and allowed ourselves to simplify those huge, like, astronomical things and just say, it just is someone's finger, and speaking is just talking. Like, it doesn't have to be that big of a thing. So anyway, I want to leave you with that because it's those simple little tricks that we can do in our own mind that allow us to not be so overwhelmed or worked up or reactive when life comes at us. So I'm going to leave you with that. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Happy Thursday. And we'll see you back here next week, Thursdays at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, for another episode of Growth and Grace. Talk to you then. Bye for now.